Hello and welcome back to another episode. Now today I am very much in the mood to play some Resident Evil 4 Wii Edition, and I thought I'd bring you along for the ride. In fact, about an hour ago I just got the Hylian shield on Zelda Skyward Sword, and I was on such a high, no pun intended, Hylian, that I didn't want to spoil that by going straight on to fight the big boss and getting my ass kicked. So instead I'm going to play one of my favourite Wii games and talk a little bit about it. When I first got to play Resident Evil 4, it was on the GameCube, and it was a very competent, very beautiful version of the game. It was, in so many respects, I suppose a soft reboot, people would call it now, but it was also a game which was sort of bringing a bit of hardcore to a Nintendo system, and I very much appreciated that. And while I don't agree that it's sort of, you know, it's the best game in the series, there are some people out there who seem to think that Resident Evil 4 is the best in the series. It is nonetheless a very good game and a bold step in a new direction. And this seems to be what Resident Evil 7 is as well. And so this sort of complement of things, me being on a high, Resident Evil 7 coming out, I figured I'd play this game. Now I absolutely love little details like this lady here. "Guess there's no sex discrimination here," says Leon. Also, the character of Leon is probably my favourite character in the Resident Evil franchise. If you've ever seen the animated two animated films that he's in. He's a slightly over-the-top badass now. He can basically he's a do-all American Asian badass. Oh. Look, I haven't got the range. And in this, he's trying to get hold of the president's daughter, who has been kidnapped. Of course she has. Of course she has. It's not like Resident Evil went a bit over the top with the storylines. I find the ways in which the ways in which action is revealed in this game to be the most, I suppose, intense element of the game. It is not so much a horror or survival horror as survival tension. It's got scary elements, but it never quite reaches the heights of horror and fear of Resident Evil 1 and 2, at least not for me. So while I love the character and I do like the game, it's certainly not on my top spot. That would have to be Resident Evil 2. The control scheme, when it came to the Wii, though, is the reason why I got this copy. I was excited at the prospect of essentially having a light gun possibility. As you can see, you can move the reticule around very quickly. And the controls take some getting used to. On the nunchuck here, the Z button helps you run. You can also flick and tap it, flick the stick and tap Z to quickly turn around. That's very useful. The C button, if you hold it, you can hold it and swipe the Wiimote to swipe your knife. That becomes very useful. And actually, the better you are at this game, the more you are essentially killing lower level bad guys with a knife. One of my favourite things, though, is the fact that you hold what you think would be the gun trigger to enact an aim, and then you press A to shoot, which again feels a bit counterintuitive at first, but it works very well. But my favourite thing is the way that actually you use the stick for broad strokes like this, broad moves around, and then you use the Wiimote for sort of fine-tuning your aiming, and together those two control features make for a very satisfying gameplay experience. It just works. Well, we're about to play the opening sort of encounter. Hopefully I won't make a fool of myself. Oh, here's Alison. Alison? Or is it Hannigan?
Leon,
Hannigan.
how you holding up?
Alison Hannigan is a different person.
Sorry to hear that. I'm sending you a playing manual.
Oh, thank you.
Hope you find it useful.
I'll take a look at it, thanks.
No, in that sense, I love the way that Leon's sort of reflecting many a gamer's mentality. Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, geez. So things like, for example, you flick to reload the gun. You can kick in contextual moments, changing screens. Yeah. Okay. All done. Off we go. And you can run in, but I quite like looking first through my slightly ridiculous and low-res binoculars, apparently. Oh no! So that's the police dude who drove you in. He's been hung on a stick and burned in the town square. And here we are in some part of Spain, apparently. No Brexit jokes here. But it was certainly a departure for the series. And at first I wasn't convinced, but I wanted to give it the benefit of the doubt. And for the most part, it works. Hello. Right, I'm gonna run into house. The sound effects are fantastic, and actually the voice work is scary. You get a real sense that Leon, just as Leon is an American out of his comfort zone in Europe, you as a player out of your comfort zone in the game. It's not a comfortable game to play, and as I say, it's not horror, but it's not comfortable. So, first thing to do, push that in the way. Now run upstairs, deal with the ladder. Go away. Shotgun shells, yes please. Thank you. Oh, grenade, yes please. And shotgun, yes please. Right, so I'm going to go back downstairs. And this, I mean, you can run around the village on the rooftops and that kind of thing to deal with this section. But actually I quite like keeping it simple and just sort of essentially holding up in the house. Now again, the aiming is fantastic. Every now and then you can pull up a headshot like that, where the head just explodes, which is very satisfying. Oh! Now then, time for shotgun, I think. Equip. And ready. Exit. And... Oh! I was too casual there, apparently. You are dead. Damn it, I forgot this is, after all, still Resident Evil. I thought I had time to shoot the man in the shotgun. Okay, this time I won't be so casual. Reload, I think. Okay, this time we're not going to look, but looking, we're just going to go straight into the house and deal, set shit up. Cabron! Yeah, you can't strike me. Can we skip this? Okay. Right. Okay, I'm not gonna... No messing about this time. Take the shotgun. Grenade. Take grenade, yes. Shotgun shells, I think so. Push the ladder down. Now, later on in the game, actually, there's another house siege, which is a fantastic, absolutely fantastic set piece. And that one you have to take a bit more strategically. Although, if memory serves, you do have some help in the shape of a third party. Right. Gonna stick with the handgun for now. We're good. We're good. Take gold. Also, as well, actually, the shop guy in this is fantastic. Okay, right. The way he's sort of like, hello there, trying to sell you all sorts of black market goods. Back off. Okay. There you go. There's another headshot. Love it. Actually, I think I might. There we go. Now, there's not much challenge here in terms of aiming, because they're basically just walking at me. That's one of the reasons why this is a safer, he says, having just been killed, strategy than just running around like a crazy thing. Here they come, more of them. Now the chainsaw guy obviously was one of the icons of the game, and there's a magnificent GameCube controller, which is essentially the chainsaw. Oh no! Oh no! Now again, things like using the waggle stick, also the Wiimote, for those sorts of interactions really add to the visceral nature of the game, and it's another reason why this is probably the best version of this game. To be honest, across my game collection, I try to have essentially the best version of the game where possible. That version that can be dictated by graphics, it can be dictated by experience, for example, like this, and it could also be dictated by by nostalgia. And in this case, this is a good mixture of nostalgia and heck of an experience. Take green herb, yes. Take gold. First aid spray. Oh, whip. There we go. It's not gold. It's passatas. It's passatas. Not passatas. Pistachios? No. That Spanish currency that I've forgotten what the name is. Can you shoot through the guy's neck fountain as his head exploded? Back off. And then the mysterious church bell rings. Oh. It is magnificent. And really, technically, this is sort of still the prologue of the game. It's really highlighted by the fact that Lord Sadler, for the fact that we're about to see the title.
Where's everyone going?
Exactly. Bingo, church meeting. Resident Evil.4.
Hunnigan, I have some bad news. I've confirmed the body of an officer. Something's happened to the people here.
Leon, you need to get out of there. Look for a tower and follow the trail near it.
Got it.
Got it. So, now the funny thing is that, I mean, I'm laughing and I'm joking and I'm playing this game with a certain amount of nonchalance, shall we say? No, say nonchalance is the wrong word. Very casually. But nonchalance is the right word. No. Sorry. Anyway, I'm playing it very casually. Obviously, the first time I played this game, I didn't. I was actually quite, as I say, quite tense playing it. And the prospect of, for example, eventually trying to make your way through the same door that all those guys just disappeared through is quite an intimidating one. And so again, the game sort of ramps up the sense of intimidation. There's a section not too long after this where you're in a church. I think you see the president's daughter for the first time. That's where you sort of essentially you start on this prolonged. We could have come up here for the siege. Oh well, doesn't matter. This sort of prolonged sort of babysitting quest, making sure that she's okay. But the dread, for example, of going round the back of the church along the cliff face, if you've played the game before, you'll know what I mean, is palpable. There is dread, there is tension. I don't mean to give the impression that this game doesn't instill those sorts of feelings in you, but it's more a case of, because you feel more in control, I suppose, what I'm getting at. In the first two Resident Evils, you felt as though things were slightly beyond you. because I suppose they were, in terms of the story. The outbreak is unfolding around you. Around any corner there could be anything about to get you. And this one, while there is elements of that, of sort of anything could be around the next corner, because you are I suppose again it's thematic, because you are super agents, and because you are on a mission to rescue the president's daughter. You I suppose get more ammo and better guns, and so they sort of trade horror for action, and that really became one of the templates for Resident Evil through Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 6, and they seem to have learned their lesson and gone back a step in terms of, well, they say gone back to some of their roots in Resident Evil 7. Let's see what's through here. Well, there's medals hanging from a tree, isn't there? I think. Where is it? Well, I'll run up to it so you can see it a bit better. There you go. So little things like this. If you shoot all the medals in the game, oh, you get prizes. Points mean prizes. And actually, there's a nice little explanatory poster on the. Oh, where are you? There you are. Shoot him in the knee. See, that is why this is the best version of the game. It is the control, and it is that sort of visceral sense of being in the moment, especially with the Wiimote. And this is yet again one of those examples where developers didn't make the most of the Wii. They really could have and should have done more with this console. But anyway, we're now what? The Wii U's gone. We're about to see the Switch. No point in complaining. But I suppose, I mean, because for example, one of my I think as I've mentioned in a previous game, one of my flatmates, his older brother, supposedly was involved in computer game development. I'm not sure I believe that, to be honest. This particular flatmate of mine was a bit of a bullshitter, as it were, in uni. But nonetheless, he once put me on the phone with his brother, who was convinced that the Wii was nothing more than a gimmick. It was a motion control gimmick platform, and we would all soon be fed up of the console. And that, I think, is one of the reasons why it came to pass, is that lots of people were sort of assuming it wasn't a hardcore gaming platform, not hardcore enough. And perhaps actually that is also actually how Nintendo treated it. Anyway, yeah, no, sorry, in so much as, allowing people to, for example, put a load of shovelware on the console, instead of having a little bit more quality control. You remember when the Nintendo stamp of quality was meant something? Well, then again, I don't know. Maybe it never did really mean something, because there's an awful lot of shovelware on the NES as well. Anyway, you would think I didn't love this game, or rather say this console. I do. That's why I own it, and that's why I haven't sold it. That's why I didn't move on to the Wii U. Although I might have to move on to the Wii U to get to play Breath of the Wild when it comes out, because I can't afford a Switch. But given that the Wii U is backwards compatible, I might be able to convince my lovely wife. That's what it boils down to, folks, when you're married. Might be able to convince my lovely wife to let me invest in a partial upgrade for my Nintendo system, so that I can benefit from some HD Nintendo, and and crucially play Breath of the Wild at some point in the next year, Now here we go. This is another element that actually caught me off guard the first time I played this game, and that is it's essentially a QTE, quick time event. These became increasingly common following really this period in gaming, but at this point, the first time I did this, obviously I got splatted by the boulder on the GameCube, and again it was an innovative gameplay style. I've gone and wasted all my bloody ammo. Obviously, it's a gameplay style that would go on to be abused and abused far too much by other developers. And oh no, hasn't he got? Yep, dynamite. Damn it. Okay. No, I don't need a. Oh. Okay. Shit. I forgot I was playing on a slightly more difficult difficulty. Oh! I am dead for the second time. Yad, you are dead. Well, folks, let's leave it there, shall we? This was a genuine pleasure. As I say, I love the way the game controls, and if you have any sort of soft spot for Resident Evil 4, you owe it to yourself to try it on the Wii. Yes, the graphics aren't the best anymore, but they are nonetheless still fairly, fairly competent and dense, and they work in terms of creating a game world. The sound design is fantastic, and the controls crucially work. They work well. It's not like they've just sort of slapped these controls onto the game. They've actually thought about how the game will work and how it will feel to play through this experience using the Wii. So if you haven't given it a go, you really should give it a go on this console, and I feel satisfied. I'm so pleased, like I say earlier on today, with my glorious Wiimote. I got the Hylian shield, and now I've killed myself twice on Resident Evil 4. Oh yeah, living the dream. Anyway guys, as ever, until next time, do take care. Bye bye.